Good morning.
I'm going to share our morning meditation with you and continue to scaffold and build on our skill sets that we discussed. And today we're going to focus on bodily sensations, the first of our 3 dominion of sensation that we are able to observe. And for every meditation, we're always going to drop in the same way. Become familiar with that process. So hopefully by now you're in your comfortable seated standing position. You can do eyes open or eyes closed. If you're sitting, elongate your spine and take a deep breath. Settle in. Take note of the muscles that you need to hold yourself up. And then let all the others relax. And as always, we start with a general assessment and check-in of exactly what's going on for us right now. And we always remain curious, not assuming that we know. And this sets our overall tone for our entire practice. We won't allow everything that's here to be here. This includes any unpleasant sensation. Could be from a past injury or something that's just coming up now. I just greet it. I let it be here. I want to check out my overall emotional scenery. And I want to invite it in. Welcome sadness, welcome anger. If I'm anxious, welcome anxious. If I'm very happy about my day, welcome it. What information do you have? You're welcome here. And just take note, my mind's really busy. Right now I have a busy mind. No problem. I accept all of this. Just simply aware of it.
And by accepting, we allow it to be there without trying to push it away or hold on to any particular feelings or emotions or sensations or thoughts. Just like being a canoe in a flowing river, letting things rise and pass, looking around at the scenery, and really being curious about what's there with no judgment, which means no attachment of thoughts of whether this is good or bad. Just being fully curious, investigating it like it was something new you've never seen before.
Like a child.
It can be easy to have a train of thoughts that come in when we notice something, particularly things about an upcoming day or sensations or emotions. And when that happens, just bring yourself back to being curious as we continue to check in with how we are right now.
Nothing wrong or right here. When those thoughts come up, there's some thoughts.
If you get lost in the thoughts and you notice, beautiful. Just come back to observing and being curious.
spend a little time here and do what you need to build up your acceptance muscle. And then we're going to drop into breath awareness. Build up a little concentration for the remainder of our set and our investigation. And we start with all the sensations of breath right now. The rhythmic flow, breath coming in, abdomen expanding, chest expanding. Get to the top, it stops. A contraction of our chest and abdomen, breath leaves. Just tune into the quality of this ever-flowing rhythmic process.
Without trying to change anything. Just allow your breath to be exactly as it is. You may notice it's fast or slow or shallow or deep. Again, with curiosity, don't assume you know. Really fine-tune that curiosity to see how deep does it go in my lungs. What exactly does this feel like in these areas of my body?
You may feel your clothes touching your body as it expands and contracts with your breath. Your attention might be drawn up to your nose where it comes in.
We're not looking for any special sensation. We're looking for sensation. Anything that you experience.
And we're not looking to get heady and thinky about the sensation. We're just curiously looking at it.
Again, with no judgment of my breath shouldn't be like this, or that sensation shouldn't be there, or anything like that. Just accepting it and noticing. With curiosity, it's difficult to judge at the same time. And so we keep coming back to curiosity. That we can just be open, like a child wanting to explore. And being willing to see something that you haven't seen before.
Just ever so gently narrow down the awareness of the breath to that little spot below your nostrils and above your upper lip. And really feel what physical sensations pop up in that little circle. Stay with that for a few minutes, and this is where we're just going to kind of begin to build up our concentration. And the mind will definitely wander away. No big deal. In fact, it's an opportunity to bring it back.
That's what builds our neuroplasticity. That exercise of moving our mind back to our attention, that particular spot that we are creating this curiosity and awareness around.
And when we're meditating or practicing meditation and we choose something to pay attention to, it's basically always going to be called our object of meditation. And right now, it's the triangular area above the upper lip and below the nose. Could be anything. There's many, many forms.
And if it's difficult to feel something there, just be curious that it could happen. One way to challenge that and to try to notice something more is to take a bit of a more forceful breath in and out, so you can feel that air move between over that area through your nostrils. Or maybe if you just very, very slightly wiggle your lip, just to notice what that sensation in that area feels like. And then go back to your regular breath, to stillness, and see if you can still keep your attention on that area and focus in just to see if any sensations will come up. Even when we don't feel anything, we continue to be curious and open.
And again, the breath is like our workhorse of meditation, because it's always here. And we can bring this up at a difficult time in real life when we're not on the cushion. It's very calming. And in fact, any time that we're negotiating the walking life, our working life, and doing our householding tasks, if a difficult situation arises and we can tune in on our breath, it's very likely that we'll be able to move through whatever the situation is without, quite a high percentage of being worked up as we might if we tune into this objective physical sensation of breath. Helps us drop all the mind fodder that might be building up around whatever our situation is. Helps us see a little more clearly about what's happening in that moment. Helps us get in tune with what we truly want to see happen with any conflict. Most of us probably just want joy and compassion and love.
We allow this to be a practice, knowing that it's much easier to do this sort of focus initially when we're quiet, which is why we meditate every day. So that in a time of upheaval or stress, we can actually come back to it because it's something we already know. We can't do new things particularly easily in situations like that. So we make this automatic. We make this very familiar. So it's something that we can come back to when things are a little bit more stressful or a lot more stressful.
And now we've already come this far together, and we've worked with our concentration. So now we're going to start to build awareness of sensory clarity. And we're going to take the focus that we have had on this little triangular area, and whatever's paying attention right now to these words, whatever is doing this focus, it's going to move that up to the top of your head. And you're going to take the same curious investigation. What sensations are on my scalp right now? And again, we're not getting heady. We're not trying to create anything. We're really looking to see what's there. What do I feel up there on the whole top of my scalp? And then we're going to keep it rolling. And we're going to slowly move it down over our forehead. Just looking for sensations. Nothing special. Heat, pressure, itching, tingling, whatever. Just take note of it. Dump my attention through my temples, starting at the top of my ears, roll down my ears, over my nose, check out my lips, quickly go through my mouth, down the back of my neck, my chin, over my throat, both my shoulders, down my forearms, or my biceps, back of my biceps, through the elbows, over the forearms and the back of the forearms, into my hands, through my palm, over the back of my hand, each of my fingers. And again, the mind's going to wander. And if it hasn't gone too far and you remember where you were, you can just pick back up there. If the mind's really jumped off the rails and you don't remember where you were in this slow movement, you can start back at the top. And again, I'm just feeling what's there, really feeling. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not rejecting any of it. And as always, I don't want anything to be different right now.
One of these ways to be curious is to try and investigate it and dig in and really see what's there. So what shape is that particular sensation that I feel? How far does it go around that particular part of my body? Does it have a border? And if I observe it for an extra second, does it change? Can I be open and curious enough to observe it? Like watching insects or an ant move around. Like, how much does this change and what is it going to do next? Just being completely open and super curious with that attention being laser sharp as much as you can on that particular sensation, just for a moment, or as long as you want to stay there. And even if it's still there, you can move on to the next body part. We do the same thing. What is here? Can I be curious enough to really examine, be quiet, listen with my awareness of sensation as closely as possible for a tiny little sound that might pop up, without any judgment. If the mind wanders, you bring it back. It doesn't matter where you are. You can bring it back to any particular area.
We left off on our hands, so bring the investigation back up to the shoulder blades. And just slowly move down your entire back. You can do it in like quarters. And if you have the ability, you can just sweep down the whole back. Feel what's there. Could be clothes on skin. Down into the lower back and the top of your buttocks. And as you move your awareness back up to the beginning of your chest, you can sweep your sides, your rib cage, under your armpits. Just checking out what's there. Go to whatever draws your attention in that area and keep moving on. Now you're at the top of your chest. Slowly over your pectorals or breasts, into your midsection. Down over your belly button. Through your groin. Down into your seat. Just kind of wrap it around your buttocks and come up to your quads, your inner thighs, the outer part of your thighs. Roll through your entire knees. To both of your calves. Wrap it around and feel your shins. To your ankle. Through the middle of your feet. Over the top of your feet. All your toes. And depending on how much time you have, how much time you've allotted for this, you can turn around right here and go back up. If that feels complicated, you can go back to the top and start from there again.
You can move at whatever pace you'd like. We've offered something here. You can do body chunks. If it seems right now too difficult to do small increments, you can do small increments if it seems too hard to do big chunks. And just moving at your pace, maybe spending a little more time if you have difficulty feeling any particular sensation on one body part. Just to be extra curious in that area. If you feel something there or you don't, then just move on to the next part.
So we've offered this up to you, and this is our first sensory input, physical sensation. And we would like you to check this out a little bit. And then you could certainly email us with questions. In fact, we'd love it if you would. And we could answer them either in a group or personally.
So much for joining us this morning.
Love and light.